I simplify all things real estate. Last month we talked about contracts. The month before that we talked about preparing to buy a home. If you haven't watched that one, go back and watch that one before you watch this one. This month we're going to be talking about the buying process. So from start to finish, after the preparation that you are going to encounter as you buy a home. So the first thing after you prepare your finances, get with the lender, all that stuff, the first thing that we're going to start on with the buying process is the showings. So basically, you're going to look at the searches that I send you. You're going to pick out your favorite homes. You're going to let me know, and then I'm going to schedule them, and we're going to go and tour these homes. Once we find the home that you think is perfect for you, that you absolutely love, we will write an offer. So we will write that contract to buy and sell real estate that I covered in the last class and submit that offer to the sellers. Once the sellers have accepted the offer or countered, we'll talk about that one later, then I will send you an email with your next steps. So again, I'm constantly walking you through this process. This isn't a process you have to memorize. The biggest things that you're gonna have to do right away is get your earnest money into the title company, talk to your homeowners insurance to get a quote for your insurance because you'll have to submit that to the lender. If you don't have a homeowner's insurance, let me know. I have some awesome agents that you can work with. You'll also want to hire your inspector right away. I will send you some recommendations on the inspectors that I've worked with in the past that I think do a good job. But you want to hire them right away so that we can make sure to get the inspection completed and that we can get the report before you need to submit your inspection objection if we do submit an inspection objection. I'll also remind you to get any required documents to your lender as soon as possible. Your lender will be reaching out to you after I send them the contract, requesting documents like your tax returns, W-2s, bank statements, that kind of stuff, and you'll want to get that to them as soon as possible. Once your inspection is completed, then we will talk about an inspection objection. This is where we go back and either ask the seller for money towards closing costs that you then can use to repair certain things about the house that need repaired, or we will actually ask them to repair those things. This is a super important document. There's a deadline for it. We have to get it to the seller by the deadline. Otherwise, you kind of lose out on that opportunity. The sellers will then come back with an inspection resolution. This will say whether they accept all the terms of the inspection objection or if they're gonna kind of negotiate different solutions. They might agree to repair some of the things and not the others, or less money, more money, never more money, but less money than we asked for. So that's one of the most important processes of this contract that'll kind of keep you busy that I'll walk you through. The next thing we're going to be looking out for is the appraisal. So the lender will actually order the appraisal. I can't have any contact with the appraiser, so that'll all kind of go through the seller. But that's an important piece of information for you when it comes to the purchase price of the home. So if the appraisal is less than the purchase price of the home, then there might be some extra money that you will have to put down, or we can talk to the sellers about coming down to that price. So that's kind of another negotiating tool that we'll have to cover as we go through the contract process. 3 days before we close, you'll be getting a closing disclosure from the lender. This has to be signed 3 days prior to closing in order to actually get to the closing table. So this is another important document and deadline that I will hound you so that we can make sure that we get to closing on time and that you can get the keys to your new home when you expect to. The day before or the day of closing, we will do a final walkthrough of the home. This is so that we can go to the home, make sure that it is in the condition it was in when we last saw it at the inspection. So make sure after the sellers have moved out that there's no like holes in the wall, stains in the carpet, floor ripped up, any of those kinds of things. So we are going to do that final walkthrough right before we close to ensure that you are getting the property you expect to be getting. After the final walkthrough, then we will head to the title company where we will go to close the transaction. Usually there's some time in between the final walkthrough and closing, so if we have the availability, I will take you all out to lunch. Now we'll get to the closing table. This will happen at the title company that the seller has selected. You will need to bring a cashier's check unless you wired the funds the day before. And you will need to bring a photo ID for each signing party. Those are two important things that you absolutely have to bring to the closing table in order for us to close. I will meet you there. I will be there with you to talk through any of the closing documents with you. The closers of the title company usually do a really good job, but I'm there to help you through it as well, especially since we've established that relationship going through the buying process. After you have signed the stack of papers that you have to sign, especially if you are getting financing through a lender, then you get the keys and you get to move into your new home. After you get your keys, then we can go to one of my favorite breweries to celebrate. Thanks for watching this month's episode of Real Simple. This month's spotlight is Long Neck Pumpkin Patch. It's super close to my house, so that's why it's one of my favorites. And I'm super excited to take little Paisley there this year. They have tons of family fun activities, plus you get to pick out your pumpkin that you might carve or whatever for Halloween. So anyway, Long Neck Pumpkin Patch. If you have any questions about the buying process, make sure to let me know. Next month we are going to be talking about the selling process. So we're gonna kind of switch gears and talk about our sellers. So I hope to see you then. Cheers.